I'm a
Oh
woman.
damn.
You're a woman? Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm a
Spix,
woman. What the
why
heck?
does your character look like a modernized version of Snake's CFD's character?
Yeah, right. It does. Snake's character, man. He has some I don't know what's going on with his character,
I
but
always try to
Man.
portray my character like me. I'm
Dude.
fat.
Dude, if I could get a jersey like that and Sea of Thieves, yeah, I would have no problem being on there right now.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe eventually later on down the line, you know.
Man, they just need to take it that way, man. Oh shoot, Axeman.
Why could we have a virus to make people take showers? That's true, man.
They only got what 5 characters?
Yeah, how do we choose our character?
Or is it?
Oh, change class.
Hey, I personally hate this
Preferred
virus.
character.
No?
I vape, so you know, naturally adding water vapor to my lungs means
Oh, we can only do preferred characters.
pneumonia. No, thank you. It's dangerous.
Okay, so who wants what character?
That is sick though. I might spend 34.
I'll take mine.
You got the chick? Okay, what about you, Solid? You want the dude? Yeah, he picked the dude real quick.
We got the girls.
Hey, you ask me anytime, I'll pick a chick.
I'm gonna pick a chick too. I'm always a chick. Every game I play. Well, I don't know. You got a guy named
You guys all have Dead by Daylight downloaded or not?
huh?
For future
Whoa.
reference, you guys got Dead by Daylight? Or, yeah, thanks, Dead by Daylight.
Yep, I got Dead by Daylight on both.
Alright.
I think it's on sale on Steam, right? Nick?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was
So
free
I'm
on
looking
Game
on
Pass.
Steam.
Oh, okay. What's that on? Let's go check that out.
Yeah, well, he played it. He got it on the Game Pass on the PC, but we couldn't match each other because I was on Steam. You can only matchmake crossplay. There's no friends system yet.
Oh, you talking about Dead by Daylight? Yeah.
Yeah, but he has it on every platform. Even mobile.
Oh, but we don't have no upgrades yet anyway, so we're just ready up.
Mobile version sucks.
And what? Oh, Dead by Daylight.
It does look bad.
I mean,
Like that peanut butter and jelly that's currently on Snake's floor.
I feel like they waited too long to release that mobile version.
How did you know this, Jelly, on my floor?
Bruh, most people overstuff the PBJs. You're one of them, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes,
Mm-mm-mm.
you're right. I like my sandwich overstuffed.
Oh, that's why they call it stuffing.
Stuffing a face?
Yeah.
There's a dirty version of that too.
Oh.
Especially with the peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I don't know. I only know stuff that's like on WVIZ and stuff or Nick Jr.
Oh wow. They got some dirty stuff on there too.
Yeah, especially with Alter. Oh my god, have you seen the memes?
Who?
Alter.
You mean Arthur?
Arthur, yeah. Did I say author?
Yeah, you said
He's
author
Arthur.
like you illustrating something.
Oh my gosh. My mind today is not here, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're showing your true accent, Trix.
Man, somebody said that earlier.
I will leave your ass here. Nobody is leaving anybody.
Yeah, this game does have a sharpness thing. I don't know why it's like that.
Yeah.
Only chance to get out.
Whoa.
Not going into the subway.
You ready, Solid? You ready, bro?
We will starve here. The subway is our
zombie.
only chance.
Dude, look at how quickly they pouncing over that car, though.
Man. See, it gives me that Left 4 Dead feeling.
I don't like him, but he's right.
All right, let me get comfortable. I can't get...
They never gonna let
Hola,
that
le
happen, Louis.
vato. I'm the miss. With my low rider.
They should at least have horde.
Hey, hold on. This crosshair is not correct. Why is it right there on the screen? It should be lower.
Uh-huh. You telling the game designers how to develop the game?
I don't know if I want to see the monitor. I mean, my computer or the monitor to play the game.
Up to you.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's really just personal
I could
preference.
just go for the PC looks better on this.
Yeah, actually, I should have probably installed this game. It probably looked much better. It could be why too, but it still looks good on here. What do you think, Jay?
Oh wait, so you didn't install it, it's just a free
Yeah, it
trial?
looks-
I
No.
think it looks
Too
good.
bad.
I'm playing it on the NVIDIA servers.
Oh.
But believe it or not, it's not bad. I'm turning the camera, and it runs phenomenal.
Yeah.
No lag or nothing. Wow.
No, dude, this is like that's what I said. Remember when I benchmarked? It was hitting above 90 FPS. Like they're. I mean, I get it. You're connected to like a graphics maker server, so obviously they got a good GPU running. But the fact that if the game supports RTX, you can use it.
new setup might have something
We
to do
gotta
with
play a
it, too.
game that has RTX.
Right. Yeah, I don't like this crosshair, man. It doesn't match.
Call of Duty has ray tracing.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, on PC.
Oh yeah, this game, Activision took it down. They told NVIDIA they didn't want their games on there. 2K Games took their games down. Who else was it?
Just to-
Alright.
Wait, is that a Corona during Corona?
No, that's it's one of those like organic drinks. All right.
Agave?
Sure.
Look at Solid. Everybody knows what we're doing. How do we know? Wait. Ooh.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
What happened?
What in the hell happened to y'all around here? Y'all just got fucked up. Yo, you missing a leg, dog. You alright?
They're missing a body.
Holy shit. You got no head over there, bro. Whoa.
Dan, you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I don't see you guys on the roof.
Hey,
We're going
you better
for it.
watch it.
Trying the
I'll
subway
kick
to
your ass.
Inwood.
Don't be coming here,
Over.
B.
Yeah, really? I don't. Maybe the grunt's the
How
one
you
out
made
in
it?
I
front.
don't know. Oh, I'm gonna have to switch buttons because melee's probably not gonna be. Holy zero!
Whoa, he just jumped on you, bro.
Yeah, he did.
Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Watch. Oh. You're too loud. All right, hold on. Time out. Hold on. Is there a melee in this game? I don't remember.
Oh, shit.
Oh shoot! Solid.
Damn it! Somebody shot me.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm so cheap on ammo. I'm trying to shoot one at a time. Okay, hold on. What the? I'm going to settings.
Right.
Controls. All right, so we have sprint, crouch, movement, vault climb, switch shoulder. What the heck? Oh, we can switch the way we aim. Sweet.
Okay, it's R1.
R1 must be nice. Yeah. Q is a switch weapon. Really? That's weird. Button. Why is it not mouse wheel?
I have left.
Okay, melee for us is F. Ugh.
Whoa, dude, what happened here?
No. Not doing F.
F, really? Wow. Okay.
Such a weird keybind. Alright, what's K? K anything? No?
See,
Good.
right now I could just switch it to. I could do that and switch my melee over. I pick over here. Let's see if it works. Yep.
Alright, let me see it. Alright, now I got melee. So wait.
I put it on one of my paddles.
Stairs are out. Push through to the elevator.
There's a crate here.
Is there collectibles that we gotta collect around, or?
I wouldn't doubt it. Usually games like these might have Easter eggs. Your eyes open.
I'm just gonna look.
Alright, so we got melee, we got switch weapon. Switch weapon is Q. I don't like that. It feels weird. This is definitely a console game. Okay.
Somebody just threw a grenade.
Yo, what happened to the zombie though? What do you guys see with this
That
zombie?
was me. That was me accidentally. Oops.
I don't know which one. Oh, mine's middle mouse button. Are you kidding me for a grenade?
Oh shoot!
Oh no!
Well, I pressed what you said, and I said what you meant. I threw a grenade, but I did not meant. Middle mouse for grenade? Really? Why not G?
What the heck? No! Ow! 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 No.
We've got an infector.
Oh, an effector! Oh god, get away from it! Oh, I'm out of here.
I'm dying.
Hands up! Infector!
Yo, stay away from that effector. Zero needs help, guys. Zero needs help. Oh, what the hell was that? Was that? Oh! What the?
Help!
Oh, no.
Oh, those things are mean.
Over here!
Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. Here, I got you guys. How do I get you up?
I'm here.
Oh, that's a zero. Oh, wait, what the?
I'm just on me now. I'm attacking you.
That was you?
Yep.
I need help!
Oh, no. I'm doomed.
Come on! Somebody shoot us!
I need men!
See, that's like a Left 4 Dead Charger attack right here. Such copycats, bro.
Vicious.
Can anyone
That's all up to the AI. Wow, the real players died first, bro. And we thought artificial intelligence were the dumb ones.
Whoa!
Yeah, that was rough.
Okay, he's going at him with a handgun, bro. The AI knows what they're doing.
Drop the bull.
I chop you.
Boys.
Oh,
Yo, that AI's messing you up, solid. That AI ain't playing.
I'm back now.
Fix you up. You're good to
What? Dude, that's crazy. The AI. Oh, that's solid.
uh-huh.
Oh, you're the big dude. Oh, my bad. I thought that was the AI. I'm like, man, the AI doing good.
No, I need some ammo. I'm out of ammo out here, bub.
More zombies. Okay.
Holy crap. You want the piece of me? I chop you up in little pieces.
Hey,
That was funny, bro.
the bomber! Bomber!
Oh, that.
Oh, that one. Oh.
What the heck?
I just fell. I just fell on the ground. Where we get ammo?
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
There's random places around here. Uh-oh. Creeper? Oh, no.
You know what I'm gonna do? Let me. Or no, if I do that, it might log me out. I was gonna say I can install this while we're playing this. That way, it's running pretty good on here. I got.
Oh, what the? I just walked through the door. That was cool. I walked through an open door.
Okay, we got one zombie in this room. Oh, look outside. Look at that. They look comfy. Oh. Wow, that is a bright light.
Wow, that is, yeah. Ooh. What's this?
Why are the doors open like this? Are these like spawn points for the enemies? That's probably what it is. Like that? But that's not the only door doing it.
Yep.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. First few seconds into the game, we got wrecked.
I see. You
We
see
gotta
him
get
out of
in the
nowhere and
elevator
just grab
now.
somebody, just pound them to the ground. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh shit!
Works for me.
Double barrel shotgun.
What happened to my machine gun? Oh, I still got it.
Reloading!
Molotovs. I need Molotovs for sure.
You know, I just realized my character looks like a Bill, but it's a chick. Yo, Left 4 Dead 3 would be awesome, man. They need to just stop lying to us and just release the game already. Oh boy, behind us.
push the elevator button. Fresh ammo coming. Damn it, stop!
I just refilled my ammo and I'm already out already. What the heck?
Oh, E is the... I don't know. I think I want to make the F to be the action key, not this.
I'm here.
How is it on the controller, Solid? Do you like it?
Yes, sir. I'm doing really good on the controller.
I think I did better with this on the controller than I... Well, no, I mean, aiming-wise, I'm aiming better, but, like...
Ow!
Vector coming in!
Oh, no, you don't. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, they're coming. They're coming. Oh, man, our health goes fast. Oh, I got to disinfect. What? Oh, I got the coronavirus. Hold on. Oh, man, I was lagging for a second. What's this zombie doing?
We gotta get out.
Working.
Oh, she did a T-pose on me.
The elevator?
Yeah, did you call it? You mean you guys didn't call the elevator the whole time?
Oh, we need help. We need help.
Yo, look how this going, guys.
Going down.
Yeah, I felt a little lag there for a second.
Look at this zombie. His foot went through the table.
Wow.
Hey,
Come on, creep.
Oh, wow.
Get in here. We stay together.
Oh, we just gotta go to the elevator, guys. Did everybody grab ammo? Reload?
What I could get. They won't give me no ammo for my secondary weapon, which sucks.
No, I don't.
Nope.
Oh, wow, that sucks. Yeah, you're right.
I did.
There's enough for everybody.
That's okay. I know Kelso's installing it right now anyway, so by the time we get to the next level, he'll be ready.
How can it be installing?
Oh yeah, you're right. It's not on Game Pass. Dang it, I keep forgetting that.
Come on now, creep. I know your ass is there.
Where are you going? Get in here.
Maybe that's his way of telling me to get out of the game stream. Chat.
Oh, well.
Dan, you there?
Oh, we thought we left it.
We're headed down.
Yeah, he was
Gotta
outside. I
go
was
now.
like, oh no.
Right?
Over.
He just like magically appeared into
for a
the.
month. Your heads will be here by then. I'm gonna wait it out, but I'll keep an eye out for you.
Oh no, this area, no.
Oh, this area. This is what I saw in the benchmark. You see all those down there, Solid? You ready, bro? Wait, how do we crouch? Oh. It's not even C, it's left control.
Christ, you seeing this? Goddamn Thanksgiving Day
Whoa,
parade.
look at all that. God damn.
Parties in the Bronx.
It's a bunch of.
Oh, wow. What is that, water outside?
I
Oh, that's zombies. Wait, no, what is that? Why does it look like water in the middle?
don't know. Right? It's like water, but
Is that water?
no, that's zombies. Can we
Wow.
get closer and look at it?
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that closer because it looks like water to me.
Ooh.
Oh man, why did it get so hot in here? Hold on, I gotta.
Oh, so I changed the weapon. I get one bullet. That's cool.
I got a flamethrower.
Rip off. There's a crossbow. Anyway, it's a crossbow. That's a rip off. What a rip off game, man.
Yeah, that is zombies.
This is gonna be the fun part.
Holy crap.
Oh no.
Hey, do we have to crawl or? Man, we're all low health, man. Except for Solid. Solid's going beast mode. We're going. Me and Jim are going rookie mode here.
Yeah.
And we're on mouse and keyboard, bro. Like we're supposed to show an example to the BC Master Race. We're looking bad.
Another flamethrower? What? Ooh.
I mean, Solid came and wrecked the big zombie, resurrected us all, and all that good stuff. Ooh, flamethrower. Wait, when you grab it, does it disappear?
No.
How do we ping? Can we ping?
No, I don't think so.
I think there is, but I'm not sure. If somebody picks it up, yeah, it's gone. So it's like one person gets to use it.
Got health over here.
I need health.
Okay, you could use 1, 2, or 3 to switch weapons. You don't have to.
We go this way. I'm hurt pretty bad. I got your back.
There we go.
Forget it.
4. Combat shotgun, assault rifle. But if I switch weapons, it's not gonna give me no ammo anyway, so what's the point?
Right.
One bullet, wow. Then it says my ammo's full, but it's full from my first gun.
That's a lot of zombies down there. Kind of reminds me of, what is it, Dead Rising?
I haven't played that in a minute.
Man, I didn't play the new one, man. The new one came out?
I only played the first one.
Oh, here's frag grenades, guys, if you need them.
I got a grenade launcher on my back, so I can blow them up.
All good.
Holy moly.
Who, what?
There's so many of them.
Wait, the water's gone.
That was a whole bunch of zombies.
It looked like Parasite Eve, like the whole liquid, like mitochondria type deal.
Okay, are we ready for this battle?
I killed all 3 of them up here.
Am I the only one following Solid? Look at the AI following Jim. You got a buddy.
Stop following me.
Oh, this music is creepy, bro. Oh, what the? Oh, we gotta be quiet, right? We got the melee. How does that work?
We ain't gonna be able to melee all those.
Ooh.
I like it. You give them everything you got.
Oh boy, here they come. Here they come.
You're climbing on each other.
Who did it?
Hit the
Oh
bottom.
shit!
I got you, Sally. I got you, bro. I got you, man.
The elevator shaft should be safe to get down.
Yeah, I got your back. Got your back.
Oh no, big dude.
Oh, where is he? Oh, Sally.
Hey, someone give him a hand.
I got you, man. Stay with me. Stay with me.
I'm hearing a lot of action from your way.
Working on it.
I paid you back for that revive you did to me earlier. Oh shoot! Or AI needs help. Oh, what the?
Big dude's up here again.
I see him.
Hold on, guys. I got a big zombie on me.
Can anyone hear me? Help!
Oh, I'm dead.
Get off!
Man, when he grabs you, that's it. That's all. Oh, we're all down. Yeah, that
Help me.
that happened.
I'm down. Need
Hmm.
help.
Beast.
I need.
That's it. Oh,
No.
no.
Now let's remember that that was the first level.
Yeah, I know. I like,
Usually that's like tutorial. Usually it's like the walk in the park type of deal.
I like it a lot.
Ah, I mean, zombie games are always fun.
There you go.
I don't know if it has like replay value. I mean, probably once you beat it, it's probably kind of like, hey, you know, whatever. But Left 4 Dead was pretty cool because it added the so the players become zombies, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is.
That was unexpected. I didn't even know you can do that.
What's up, Shane?
All right, let's see who did good, or what we just missed it.
Yep.
All right, we're leveling up though, so that's good.
It kicked me out of my game after relaunch it.
Really?
Yeah, because I still had the time remaining from the last one.
Oh, this is like a game you want to keep playing. Okay. Oh, here's the appearance.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you got a lot of
Oh, maybe we gotta keep playing the game.
yeah, we gotta get unlockables.
Yeah, we gotta keep playing the game. Yeah, so we can get a lot of stuff.
It still shows me in there, what?
It does? Oh, did you crash?
No, I had to relaunch it because I ran out of time. My trial period thing ran out.
I thought you had the
But
3
yeah, I
months.
just got it after, so
Oh, okay. All right.
so I had the game already launched, and I got it at while the game was launched.
Okay. All right, guys, give me 1 second. We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna reset this here real quick. Yeah, we gotta reset this here real quick, guys. Bear with me. Also, while this is here, let me check something. It's weird. Looking for Dick Zero. Oh wait, is that the War Witch? I think it is. It looks like it. What happened to my What happened to my Epic launcher? What the heck?
Uh-oh, what happened?
I don't know. I had to restart my game. Give me 1 second.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, I just restarted it. Screw it, since Jim had to restart it. Hold on. Okay, so technically this should be working out on a wide snap, but okay. Ay, 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 ay. There you go, Jim. I like those emotes. Little cat kind of reminds me of cat dog. All right, I'm coming back in now. That was weird. Cat dog. Oh, I meant to turn the fan on. That's what I meant to do. Alright, hold on.
Yeah, I got gifted a sub in somebody's channel, so I got all kinds of emotes.
Oh, there.
Ooh, some gun skins, nice.
Should be getting in here now, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's okay? Alright, let's go. Oh, my game looks way freaking better now. I like this. Okay. Alright, let's get you guys back in the house. We all gotta wear a blouse. Oh.
So we all got 35 points.
What we did? Oh,
That's a rip-off.
um.
Of course he did fail, so
No, we fail? I don't even think fail is even the word.
we didn't even get past the second part of the whole thing.
Solid, you're supposed to carry us, bro. What happened?
Well, you got grabbed. So you got grabbed from the air and you got pounded to the ground.
Mm-mm-mm.
He just came out of nowhere, like, where the
I was shooting him and he took out our other teammate, and then I got downed by other zombies trying to kill that big dude.
shit?
Alright, let me know when you guys got your characters if we keep getting the gun skins in this game, right? What game looks nice, Jim? Oh, which one? Oh, the gun skins?
Guns, yeah.
Weapons customizations. As you use weapons, new versions of these weapons will become available to you. Here, you can buy versions of weapons you unlocked. You can specify what versions you wish to find during gameplay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I used to love? I used to love that, what cartoon was that? The one that goes like, I can't get the name of it right now. The one that goes like, ha ha ha. I am Shujinko.
We have been streaming for 5 hours.
Yes, we have indeed, and we have done one level in the meantime. Alright, I'm good. I'm not worried about weapon customizations, because obviously we need points, and we ain't got points because we barely played, so let's get back. Let's hit play. We're going to do the first level. Everybody got their character? You guys are readied up? Alright, let's go. Let's get wrecked again. Hey, we got to do the whole level, though?
Yep. Yeah, on that one you need like grenade launchers and just blow them all up while they're climbing the wall.
Like,
Yeah, I was
really?
trying, but then I got down.
Wow, far out, man.
And my flamethrower don't reach so far, so I can't kill him that way.
That's not good, bro. It doesn't reach far. That's not good. We gotta make it reach.
Oh no.
I think this is harder than Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And all we did, the only like big enemy we fought against was the, well, no, we had the infector or whatever they call it, the infection, the infector, and then we had the, what is the name of that creature? The one that's smacking us on the ground? The brute, the tank, the,
I think it's like the brute. I think they call it the
whatever it's called. Yeah. All right, we got this. We got this. Let's keep team formation, guys.
I will leave your ass here.
Nobody is
Look at that.
They're gonna steamroll the army and then they'll be back. This is our only chance to get out.
Not going into the subway.
Oh, we could skip it. Okay, I didn't know that.
We will starve here. The subway is our only chance.
We take it to Inwood. Get to the
Zero's like, ooh,
fuck out of New York.
what the hell you type?
Die here.
Just press zero.
Zero?
Zero, yep.
Such a weird keybind, bro. This game is weird with keys in general. Like, definitely not a PC game. Oh, look at Solid. He's ready. He's like, yo, let's go.
Arr. Heard him, no noise.
Dan, you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I don't see you guys on the roof.
We're going for it. Trying the subway to Inwood. Over.
Yeah, really? I don't. Maybe the grunts will wipe him out on the front. Guys?
Spotted a sneaky bastard. Gotta keep it close by.
Help me! Hey, someone give him a hand!
Oh man, you're trying to get out of couch and you get hit. That sucks.
Oh.
No.
You went upstairs, you went after Tricks, you come after Tricks, no!
Let go of me!
Wow, I got infected. That brute's destroyed. Uh-oh. Well, I'm in a zombie now. Was he at AFK? Or what happened to him?
Ouch.
Damn.
Man, we
Get
got...
over here. I need help.
What happened to you, Tricks?
Man, I tried to run backwards, man. No, I ain't gonna lie. I had a phone call real quick. I tried to answer it, and that was bad. That was bad. I even ran back to the beginning, thought I was gonna be safe just for like a couple seconds.
Yeah, no, he went straight for you.
Damn, bro. He like knew exactly where I was.
He went straight for you.
I got infected by the infector.
Oh, the infector. That's the name of one of them.
That thing's annoying too.
Oh, man. Now, let's see here. Hold on. We're going to have to start this round.
You only got it on high? What?
No, I'm bumping it down, bro, because I feel like I'm lagging a little bit. I don't know why. The benchmark was fine.
I had a little bit of lag.
Yeah, it's like periodically it happens. Not all the time, but it's kind of annoying me. Like, I'm not used to that because, like, I'm used to playing with, like, smooth gameplay. So it's like, now this is like, so I'm just going to turn shadows down because I really don't care about it. Anti-aliasing will keep it the way it is. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's causing it. I bumped it down to 60 FPS. I think it's this animation. That might be what's called. I'm gonna keep it on default. All right. All right, let's try it again.
Man, the delay is real.
You said what?
The delay for me getting into the thing. I see it on your stream before I actually get into the.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's really.
Oh wow. Hmm.
What?
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm gonna stick with Exterminator, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why it's such a big delay, but man, that's a huge delay. See, I'm still at the lobby. Now I'm finally getting in.
Are you guys ready for this?
Are you?
Nope. While this loads, I'm grabbing something. I'll be close. I got the headphones on so I can hear you. Okay.
Of course,
We're still loading? Jeez.
Should be, so yeah.
Who, what?
My internet is like half
damn it, Bunko,
speed that
I
it should
will
be,
leave
so
your
I'm
ass
getting
here.
10.
Well, remember, you're doing this way, too. That takes your internet up.
They're gonna steamroll the army and then
So
they'll
yeah,
be back.
basically probably getting
This is
maybe
our
like
only
20
chance to get
megabytes download
Not
speed,
going
so
into the
yeah.
subway.
Oh, shoot.
Stories.
We will
Because
start
I get, right now I've
The
been getting around
subways are
50 or
only-
All right, we'll go ahead and skip this. Go ahead, Jay. Here, hold the enter. All right, let's go, guys. Let's play for real. Let's go.
Oh, that Trix is going to do it, okay.
Yeah, I ain't playing, bro. I'm serious.
Don't make a sound.
We can't jump in this game. I don't like games you can't jump. It feels weird.
Dan, you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I don't see you guys on the roof.
We're going for it. Trying the subway to Inwood. Over.
Yeah,
Man,
really?
somebody was noisy.
I don't maybe the grunts will wipe him out on the front. Guys?
Oh, Selling these out. Got you, bro. Got you, bro.
You were trying to take my ass cheeks.
Oh man, people trying to take that ass cheeks. Not good, man. Must be stacking some TP in there. That's your secret hiding spot, bro.
We need too much noise.
TP from my bunghole.
Oh, they're coming behind us too. Be careful. To the left. To the left now, y'all. One shot this time. Now reload. Let's go back to shoot.
Oh wow, I like that zombie how it's split around the corner. That was cool.
Oh, they're gonna be coming from the room to the right here. We gotta be careful.
Grab what you
Oh, here they go. Here they go.
the elevator.
Oh. Oh, here goes the big guy. Careful. Tyler, behind you.
I'm reloading.
Solid, you okay, bro? Hold on, I can't get you yet, bro. You got some. Okay, that zombie blew a fart. Hold on, I gotta let the air out of it. If we can't get in there yet. There you go. Now go ahead. You should be clear.
When you trying to revive me, you trying to give me a pep talk?
Right. Up here to go.
Oh, I blew his arms off.
No big guy?
Oh no! Oh, it hurts! It hurts! Now, whoever threw that grenade, you came in with the clutch.
I'm reloading.
You're welcome.
Oh, behind us! Oh no! Oh, that grenade! Oh no! Oh no! Man, dude, we're getting wrecked, bro.
Right.
Just got 12 over.
Oh, what is going on? Are we that bad at video games, or
Oh.
man?
Shit.
Well,
We-
it's supposed to be a 4-player game, and we're only getting 3, so
Should I put the AI with us? This rate, I think we should. Look, Solid's number 1, bro. He ain't playing.
like opposite directions. 2 people looking behind us, 2 people looking in front, so we don't get ganked. I might actually have to change my category too of my character, because yeah, this one's not that great. I
No?
got shotgun. My class kind of.
You want me to wait for a second? Because Solid's ready. Just let me know when you're ready, Zero.
Okay, let's see what I want. Okay, I want to do this one. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? All right, let's go. What happened? What is going on?
Class, but a different one.
All right, we gotta stick together. We did good up to that elevator part.
All right, no more rushing.
No more Russian. Let's go American. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
American.
Yeah.
All right.
Just not New York though.
Oh, and that's actually where we're at too, so that's even worse.
I know, that's what's like.
But we're playing a game in New York, and well, even Florida. I think Florida's even doing it bad too. Like if you don't live in Florida or have a Florida ID, you can't get in.
Yeah, my state's in the top 15, so we got like 4,000 cases now. So we're dominated too. I'm gonna go to Hawaii.
They're right.
There's only like 100 or like 200 cases or something like that. I think last time I see.
Then they'll be back. This is our only chance to get out.
Not going into the subway.
Uh-oh,
You've heard the
spotty connection.
stories.
We will starve here. The subway is our only chance. We take it to Inwood, get to the evac center, and get the fuck out of New York. Or we die here.
Kelso said,
Right.
"Good luck competing with Cali."
Oh, Cali, I know. I see them pretty bad too. But nobody's close to New York or New Jersey. Nobody's gonna catch them.
Dan, you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I don't see you guys on the roof.
We're going for it. Trying the subway to Inwood. Over.
Yeah, really? I don't. Maybe the grunts will wipe him out on the front.
Well, what the hell? Why is this shoot? I think we got silencers anyway on the weapons. All right, let's go nice and easy, guys. Look, they crawl through vents, doors. It's crazy, bro. I gotta turn my sensitivity down. My sensitivity was way too high.
Got the creeper.
All right, we can't mount on the walls. Sorry, nice and easy. There you go. There you go. All right, let's check the rooms to the right. No, there's no room in there, but there's somebody in there that I can hear them. Good one, Solid. All right, we're clear. Let's crouch. Let's start get the crawling going. All right, there's gonna be zombies here to the right. Maybe we can sneak on them. Try to get some sneak kills. Oh, AI just started shooting.
Creeper taken out.
He's talking without his mouth moving. How'd he do that? He must be like one of those puppeteers and knows how to talk puppets without moving his lips. Even the rats in New York got it? What? Well, I've been hearing there was a tiger at a zoo that got something. Or got the virus. And then there was, yeah, animals getting it too. That's crazy, bro.
Stairs are out. Push through to the elevator.
Hey, elevator it is. Nice and easy. This is, we gotta sneak in this game. That's what we gotta do. Come on, Solid. Get your aim right, bro. Come on, man. Dude. Oh, Breck, he's coming. Get him, Solid. Get him, Solid. What the hell are you doing? Okay, good job. All right, who shot the zombie in the leg?
I did.
Oh, they're coming in. Careful.
Okay.
We made too much noise.
Hey, I'm reloading.
What? Oh, I thought it said communicate with your teammates using social distancing. I thought that's what it said. Oh. Holy shoot! Who threw the grenade? Oh God!
Stop shooting.
Up behind you, Solid. Got him. Oh! Get him!
Stay together. Creeper's close.
You did, man.
Jeez, that hurted. Oh. Right, close enough. All right, guys, we're looking good. Check the rooms. Turn my volume up. What's my volume on? It's pretty low. Why is it so low? Why am I lagging right here? Like,
Yeah, I'm lagging right here too.
yeah.
I put the music down low.
Do you lag right here, Solid, when you walk by here? I think it's the lighting. I think that's what it is. Let me go to video.
Lag?
It's not like heavy.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's all me.
Call
Just
the
like,
elevator.
oh. Holy, that scared me.
I mean, it's not annoying. It was just like a spike. All right, Solid, you okay? We're clear, but I think once we press that button, they're gonna start coming. So let's reload. Get ready. All right, I'm reloaded. Up behind us.
Fresh ammo coming up.
Elevator coming up.
Ooh, there's a lag spike.
Hazmat inbound.
Oh no, infectish! No.
Reloading.
I think we took it out.
You got affected too.
Oh, big man's coming. Watch it. Watch the right lane. Oh, elevator's open, guys. Go.
Loading ammo.
Solid, don't be a hero. Aye, he took too long. Huh? How'd he do that? Wow, he moonwalked.
He teleports.
We're headed down.
You got that TP too, bro.
Now you coming? Over.
Look, I got food and booze for a month. I'm gonna wait it out, but I'll keep an eye out for you.
All right, we did this part last time.
Oh my God. There's no other way out.
There's the water again. Look like water, man.
Yeah, but it's those zombies.
What's this? A crate? Nobody checks the crates.
Holy Christ. You seeing
Somebody with a
this?
sniper rifle?
Frag grenades to the left here in the building in the store.
Parade.
Keep moving, shitbirds. Party's in the Bronx.
Okay, now they look like zombies, but they're moving so fast.
There's so many of them that, yeah, that's what it looks like.
The way they running, bro, is like, I don't know, not the best work, but I mean, that's me being picky. I know the tactic that they're using, but hey, it is what it is. It's all right. Not like they're coming in here anyway. It's just the outside texture.
Gotta be quiet here.
Look, a rocket launcher.
Take a look at this.
I got a grenade launcher, so I don't really need that, but somebody can take it. You want a rocket launcher?
Rocket launcher?
That's right behind you.
I like it.
All right, let's go. Got an RPG?
I'm gonna stay right here while they try to climb to you.
There's another RPG right there. Oh wait, we got machine guns and stuff here, guys. Look, solid.
Yeah,
Oh, he already grabbed one. He's already on it. I think I'm gonna go with the SM. No, it's SMG silencer, but I think I'll.
Anybody want seconds? Works for me.
Forget it.
So when you quick swap, it only lets you do primary and then.
heavy, primary, and secondary.
I've been saving this bad boy.
I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna give it that shotgun.
Alright, so we're gonna have to stay up here on the top. And let me get the silencer on so we can kill these zombies one by one. Oh, zombies down. Jeez, I don't know why I wasn't shooting. Good job, Solid. Oh, nice, nice. Alright, probably gonna have another one get up here. Get ready.
Right here. I shot that one in the ass cheek.
Nice, nice. Left or right?
Alright. I'm gonna go on that bridge, and when they try to climb up, it says use grenade launcher.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
Alright, nice and easy, team. We got this. Remember, just like that song always said, one step at a time. Yo, when I turn the camera on, man, like sometimes it's like...
You wanna make a commotion on that side, Tricks?
Huh?
Make some commotion on that side?
Yeah, yeah, let me go back the other way. Wait, how the hell do we get down? Oh, we don't go down.
You don't. That's
Oh.
we kill these zombies.
Alright, well, commotion.
Social anxiety is treatable. We can help you. See your doctor at psychhelpny.com.
Alright,
Commotion. I got a C4 down there.
you got a C4 down there?
Yep.
Sweet. Oh, I see it too. Alright, are we ready?
Yeah.
3. Nope, that's the way to do it. Wait, didn't even move? Oh, well, now they are. Oh, oh God. Wait, why are they coming up on me?
Oh, behind me.
Oh, what the?
Elevator shaft open on the far side of this floor.
Guys, they're climbing up.
Yeah. We got bombarded from behind.
I'm reloading.
Okay, okay. Yep, I can't hold it down. Yep, they breached. They're coming inbound.
Oh, this is not sweet. Hold on, thank you.
Well, where's that big guy?
I just killed him.
Behind you, Solid.
All right.
Is there health kits or anything around us?
No. Not what I know of. All right, we did it.
I need meds.
How the hell do we get down?
Anyone have a med
Oh, elevator. Okay, I'm moving in. So far, we're clear.
When we get outside, don't stop until we hit the subway.
Oh, the health kit's down here, guys. Huh?
You're getting random leg spikes here.
Yeah, me too. I think it's the game, bro. Because there's no way.
Oh, look, defense kits. Oh, chainsaw over here.
Ooh, crossbow.
Simple but effective.
I feel like Daryl now. Chainsaw. Ooh.
Chainsaw.
Isn't there a song about that? Bit about the chainsaw, huh? Look at that chopper.
Guys, see the swarm coming straight for you. Right down Broadway.
Machine gun turret ready.
Auto turret ready. Gotta be something.
Ooh.
Auto turret ready.
Somebody gotta activate that. Oh man, how many? Oh my god, prepare defense in 40 seconds.
That means it's about to get serious, boys. I hope you're ready.
Stuff over here. Oh, there's some acting with it.
I don't think we can get any more defense. That it?
That's it, yep.
20 seconds.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
All right. Get ready. You're rat food now.
Whoa, look, they're coming. Oh, shit.
Ooh, man, they don't care.
Oh, they're coming over the gate.
Oh man, the lag spikes is real. Holy mackerel.
Oh, they're coming over the gate.
Oh, right lane. Oh, behind us. What the? Oh, where'd you guys go?
Yeah, back here.
Get the revives, Jay. Oh, I'm down.
Help.
Did you guys all go down? Oh, I got one of you up.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Somebody.
Oh, don't tell me I gotta do all that again.
I hope not.
I tried to throw my grenade, man. Middle mouse button, right? Didn't throw a grenade.
I
Hmm.
think I would have changed that to G or something like that.
Shit.
Alright, so I got Helping Hand. Solid's got Slayer. Zero has Special Slayer. Slasher is our bot. Solid is a Demolition, Headhunter, Explorer, and I'm a Survivalist. Alright. Man.
I do like that class better, but we really need a fourth.
Yeah.
That bot just stands around, does nothing. He's like,
Oh, the bot is useless. What are we gonna do?
Oh, it's 33 o'clock.
Oh boy. I think I might know what the problem is. I had the game on hard. Let's put it back to normal.
that's what you did. That really? You did that to us?
Well, the zombie threat level and friendly fire sensitivity are increased. There are less supplies spread throughout the map. Not really a big disadvantage, just but normal. You start with med kits. The zombie threat level is normal, and friendly fire is normal minimum. So I think we're killing each other or something. That
Probably, yeah.
so we'll do normal. Screw it, just so we can beat this game. Oh gosh, my bad, guys. Because you know some games normal is too easy. So I put hard because it was the middle skull. You know what I'm saying? I figured maybe it was like the middle medium level.
Now in this game, now when you got like 9,000 zombies coming.
Yeah. Now I see what the problem was.
Plus we got a bot too, so that makes it even harder because we're trying to play 3.
Well, I probably could just take the bot out actually, since we're just us.
He don't even rescue us either. If one of us is down, he just stands there.
Wow. He's probably calculating. You know, he's probably trying to remember what the developer script him to do.
00111001111. They need help. I'll stand here and do nothing.
Eh.
He wasn't even shooting half the time. I was like, what are you doing?
Wow.
He just followed me around most of the time, and he was like, "Get away from me, dude! Just quit following me. If you're not gonna shoot me, anybody, quit following me."
God damn it, Bunko! I will leave your ass here.
Nobody is leaving anybody.
They're gonna steamroll the army, and then they'll be back. This is our only chance to get out.
Not going into the subway. You've heard the stories.
We will starve here. The subway is our only chance. We take it to
Keep it
Inwood,
in, keep it in.
get to the evac center, and get the fuck out of New York. Or we die here.
I don't like him, but he's right.
All right, well, let's do it. Now it's normal, guys. You ready? We got a med kit. Look. Ooh.
Gotta be quiet.
Yeah, we can't lose this time, guys. If we lose on normal, there's no other room for error on that one. That means we're just bad.
Dan, you hear me?
Hey, what's up? I don't see you guys on the roof.
We're going for it. Trying the subway to Inwood.
So the
Over.
zombies are not keeping the door
Yeah,
open.
really?
Yeah, much easier. All right, let's go. Oh, what the?
Much easier? What? You got took care of already?
Never saw this one before.
Come with me.
Is this the creators of Left 4 Dead? Oh, I did change the grenade button.
Grab what you can and regroup at the elevator. Throwing the grenade.
Who threw the grenade? You dreamed this all.
That was a nice grenade. Dang.
Grenade and C4 on top of that.
Where are you hiding, creep?
We gotta get in the elevator.
Oh, what the?
Get off!
Super fired, right, Kelso? It's crazy. Oh, well, thank you. Watch out behind you.
I shot the bot.
Hold on. Let me put some adobo on my arm so I can fix myself. All right, let's go.
Oh, what the? No.
We gotta get in the elevator
That
now.
was easy.
Yeah, yeah, real easy, right?
I was trapped. Too.
Elevator's
I
on its
was
way.
gonna die.
All right, how we looking, guys? How we looking? Elevator's open. Let's go.
Wrong floor, assholes.
Wow, that's much easier. Look, we're not even getting attacked. Okay.
A gun is a gun.
Now it feels too easy.
Did you see all the changes that they made on last year?
Dan, you there?
I logged in, but it didn't give me the points like you said.
Down. Out of food. Gotta go now.
Yeah,
You
it was
coming?
the 6th.
Over.
I did the 6th.
Look, I got food and booze for a month. Your heads will be here by then. I'm gonna wait it out.
Yeah, you had to do
I'll
a
keep
6
an
to
eye
get
out
it.
for you.
On the 6?
But they changed so much of the game
To
though.
get through that.
Now they can't body block no more, so
Oh, okay.
Holy Christ. You seeing this? Goddamn Thanksgiving Day parade.
Not as boring.
Okay, let's get going.
yeah, when I read that I was like, oh man, I want to play the game now.
Yeah, right, right.
Because they got rid of the body block for your teammates too, so they can't like get you killed.
Sound like somebody crying. All right, let's do this. Oh, they're coming from over here.
Ah, hold up.
Oh, the zombie farted, and I'm buying.
Yeah, he farted me too.
Did everybody get
Oh,
some?
dude, that's
boy, it's showtime.
Damn, he died already? Oh, I'm about to say.
We've got an infected.
Oh, that's not good. Where is he? No, Zero's down.
Infector coming in.
That was easy.
Yeah, that was easy. Wow. All right, let's go. Right, Kelso. Uh-oh, Project Zero Kelso. What's going on? Well, now power through tonight and hope in the something. It actually works for once for me. I hope it does for you, Kelso. I really do. I'm gonna head down.
Playing hard this whole time.
Yep.
You're rat food now.
Normal is cool. At least we get the normal experience, right?
Until we hit the subway.
Yeah.
Here.
That bot's like
Anything
falling
to
with
slow them
their head.
down.
Guys, see the swarm coming straight for you.
Which direction?
Right down Broadway.
Auto turret set. Nice to have a little help, huh?
Automatic turret set.
All right, what other traps do we have to set up?
This one here's set up already. See, just Superman did I see.
Right. There's nothing down there.
Nope, that's it.
Oh no, what happened?
Dun, 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 dun.
Will we survive this time? Will we survive this time? Will we survive? I don't know.
Alright, let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. What we got? How many seconds? And they come behind us too, so be ready.
I'm gonna climb with this car.
Creeper on the loose.
No!
Thanks. All good.
They're climbing the gate!
Shit. More coming in.
Oh, then hit. Oh, shit.
Oh, get out of here. Stinky. Stinky, stinky, stinky. Behind you, Zero. Or Solid.
There's enough for everybody. Reloading.
They get some killed.
You, man. Oh, behind you guys, behind you guys. Hold up. We got minimum friendly fire. We got this. What the heck was the ammo crate at? Oh, right here.
Oh, big guy.
Oh, what the shit? Wow!
Got me.
Guys? Oh, God.
Thought he had me there.
I don't got the big gun no more. Oh.
Holy shoot. Oh, there's another one. This AI get his butt out of my face. I think we almost... Oh, I gotta shoot the big guy here. Yeah, go for the AI. You got this. Oh, whoa. What the heck? Watch it, watch it, yep.
Can we make it across to the subway?
It ain't gonna get better. Watch yourselves down there.
This
Guys,
is-
notorious wackadoo.
Thanks. Take care of yourself, Dan.
Whoa.
It's better times.
this right
Over.
here?
Oh, that's nice. Hey,
Over
that
now.
rifle.
Hit the button.
I can restock ammo on these too.
Stock everything you want, man. Let's go. We got this.
Maybe I should recall this idiot.
No turning back now.
Who? What?
Thanks.
Classic battle rifle. That's primary. Okay, I don't want that.
Keep moving!
We're going outside?
Yep.
Yep.
That's
All
what
right.
it looks like.
Let's go. Oh, we're outside, Solid. You ready, bro?
It's a shotgun right here.
Take a look at this.
Assault shotgun. There we can get it there.
Go! Go!
Go what? Go to station of zombies? All right, let's go. Let's go. What, Solid, you in trouble? Not good, bro. Oh. Yeah, my stomach's growling. What the heck? Got a little spike there. Alright, good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
He's seriously packing. Spotted a creepy bastard. Sneaky Zeke is close.
How do I use my the virus thing? Okay. Oh, got you, Solid. Don't worry, you're good.
Clear the train.
Get back, you smelly bastards!
Well, you know what? This is kind of like a co-op game, though. I mean, we haven't really like a break from all that competitive like
Right?
shooters, getting headaches of hacker. You know what I'm saying? This is more of a lay back, chill, have a good time, watch your friend get wrecked, laugh about it. You know, stuff like that.
Who the hell just shot at my train? Get in here!
Hey, who's-
My PC hasn't shut down yet either.
well, now with this, I hope not.
If it shuts down with this, I will just.
Yeah, then you're done. But that's why I said do it this way, bro. Because if you did it the other way, it'll overheat. We don't want to cause that right now. You know.
I did play Sea of Thieves for about a half an hour the other day, and it loaded fine and stayed fine, but.
We need you to drive this thing to Inwood.
Shit ain't free, SA.
Oh, he just called you essay. You gonna let him talk to you like that, Solid?
To me.
A little vato.
Hola, Alejandro. You look like he's trying to talk to you like the blood in, blood out, la Honda. You know what I'm saying, man?
Oh, you got
I
that.
thought you were Vato Locos for life.
Get ready!
Oh, get ready for what? Oh, are they coming from here? No, they're coming behind us. Yep. They're coming around. Oh, we gotta go downstairs. Or no, wait. We gotta protect both sides?
They're coming in from this way, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way because it looks like there's a reach area. Oh, Solid's over there.
Yeah, I got one box.
Solid, I don't want you to be able to by yourself, bro. I'm coming. Jim, stay with the bot. Alright, I'm coming. Oh, I can't get through, Solid.
Infector coming in! No more infector!
Alright, you said you got the box?
We got. Oh, we gotta deliver it.
Alright, I got it.
So,
Grab
what
the supply
happens,
box.
Right,
Heading
when the
back with it.
armored grunts turn armored Zeke.
Ooh, battle rifle.
Ooh.
We'll try that one. Okay, so I got one supply crates. I can't carry two though. And of course the bots uses that carried anything because he don't know how to do nothing.
Good slaying comment, right? Oh man, so we got one crate. Where'd you guys go? Oh, we gotta deliver them. Okay, let me bring it down then.
Box.
Oh, you guys are the best.
This guy got the window open? No, we can't shoot him. You guys look like mercenaries. I don't trust them.
For you.
Much obliged.
Wow, what a butthead.
Got a zombie coming in.
There's 2 crates in here where I'm at.
Found another box. Time to go.
Screamer! Take him out!
Jeez.
Kill the screamer. Ah! Ow.
Oh, you guys are the best.
What the heck?
Inspector coming in!
So everybody's going north for the big freeze, huh?
I did
Smart.
what you said.
Until the big... All aboard, who's coming aboard?
Alright, reload your ammo, guys.
Oh, we're making too much noise. They're gonna.
Oh!
We gotta go now.
Do you want to try? Now hold.
Hold on.
Ooh, we got lucky.
Close the catch. Who'll be wearing the jabber off my son?
He sounds like the Joker from Batman.
Crazy son of a bitch with a train.
Wow, he loves life. He needs to pass us out down. Pass it over here.
Finally finished with that one. And it's time
Boom, boom.
for me to go to sleep.
All right. All right. So how does this work when we beat levels?
I don't know.
Oh, I got them all. Look at that.
Oh, we got much more points that time for finishing it. Oh, much better. So what do you guys think about normal?
We try normal until we get better.
It's actually doable.
Yeah, it's doable. That's weird though how much variation there is between normal and hard.
And that's just hard. There's still 2 more levels after that.
I know.
Like, I never like picking the last one because it's usually like handicap where the AI is just like ridiculous. And then. All right, so we got our points. So. Okay, so we're on episode 1 New York. We're on tunnel vision. So let me look at that level. So next time we play, hold on. Tunnel vision, where the heck is that at?
I know. Maybe.
Doesn't even show it on here.
Ooh, you get to choose melee weapon too. I want to get a weapon here. I want to get this shovel. Unlock it with the DLC. Oh, okay.
So that means next time we come on, we can only choose the episode. We can't really choose. Or does it remember?
Well, hopefully she'll remember.
Well, let's find out. Let's hit escape. We go back to. Oh, it shows. Okay, I see here. It shows New York. It shows a check on it. It shows that we completed that. So how do we switch it? Oh, I see it now. Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, we can start back where we left off next time.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna do that. 'Cause it is. Probably 3:30.
Heck yeah, man.
Get a little Call of Duty in tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe some of this. Still gotta hop on some Call of Duty. I mean, some Resident Evil.
Oh. What's today? Monday or Tuesday? I don't remember anymore. Like I'm starting to forget what days it is with this whole being quarantine thing.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Monday in some areas and Tuesday in other areas.
Yeah, right. Very true, very true.
Right.
Well, we don't want to hold you up too much there, Sally. Appreciate you joining us.
Duncan.
We'll wait till we all get together, set up another time to get on here, and we'll continue on with the story.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good, guys. So we're gonna go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks for watching. I'm tired as hell. It is 3:30 in the morning.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and back out of this real quick. Well, before we back out of that, how long have we been on, guys? I don't think we've been on that long. Let me double check. Hold on. All right. Well, make sure you count your sheeps. All right. Let me see here for a second.
Makes no sense. It says I have something in collection for Bonku to Tatsumi, but I don't see nothing.
It's not there?